Hey everyone, Terry Crews again, along with Roy Cruz, and this is the final game of Night 1 of the NHL 26 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Therefore, we get the last two teams in matchup. As you've seen the last game, Utah Mammoths have crushing it in the regulation period to tie things up, but then, in overtime, it has come back in fruition as they stay alive and are heading back to Vegas one last time in round number 1 in Game 3 against the Golden Knights. So therefore, happened to be with Clayton Keller, the game winning in overtime, who also definitely did everything on their own. No matter how hard he was doing it for, this has been a lot of training for the years and company for everybody that was really watching him go fly by for anyone that plays on ice. This is definitely one of their favorites to see how this team would do to play a lot of strategy and work clearance. So therefore, the last two teams we see is the Oilers and the Ducks at Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Starting goaltenders is Connor Ingram for Edmonton, and for Anaheim is Lucas Dostal. Now for my last commentaries for night number 1, I have it across. Welcome back is Ultra Beast. He's also along joining with Starfruit, and the third commentary of the crew, I give a warm welcome over, have it across, is Clover. And there may not be anyone who can definitely try to change it all, but that really is a great stimulon to show things often. And for the third, Gangsta Beast will be joining us here for the second period when we come back after the first period. So therefore, time to see what brings in with the last game between the Oilers or Anaheim of the Ducks. The Mighty is about to be ready. Let's see who takes it. Oilers, Ducks, next on EA Sports. See you folks later for the intermission and the post-game show. Enjoy the final game. Big nights here in Anaheim, California. Good evening, fellas. I am Ultra Beast, and I am here with my broadcast partner, along with Starfruit and Clover. It's big game night here in Anaheim, and we're ready for the playoffs. Let's do this. This is the Stanley Cup Playoffs of NHL 26 on EA Sports. Let's do it. Starting goaltenders right in the range as we got Connor Ingram for the Edmonton Oilers, and for the Anaheim Ducks, we have Miss Lucas Dostal. Start off in the range is Jacob Trouba. He'll start it off right in front, and that one gets defended up across here by the Edmonton Oilers group offensive zones. Now here we'll have to start up here, and it's the net. We'll have it over again to Lacombe. Lacombe will now find over to Carlson. Carlson will find over to Killorn. He gets knocked down, and as Killorn will have a change-off, he'll send the pass over to Trouba and give over to Lacombe. Lacombe finding the gang to Trouba and then over to Killorn. Killorn fires the back pass, now finds again to Lacombe. Again, this is in net. So net chance is blocked up in the shot, rebounded up by Lacombe. Here's a chance to Jacob Trouba on a deflection. That one is off the stick of a player and rebounded up by the Edmonton Oilers. He'll start off as the Void. We'll have that one swinging across. That one misses up. Right toward the middle, Matthias Ekholm shoots one, and a big save made by Lucas Dostal. That's his first save of the night, and here here's Lacombe the other way for Anaheim. Good start-off happens to be with only one changing from Lucas Dostal. Good save doesn't really mean anything. But I mentioned this is a start-off to go knockout strong. They definitely really got to see this one to believe it. Zellweger will start it off, now find it over to Troy Terry. He looks to Carlson. Carlson with the shot. That one is blocked up in a stick, and it goes right over toward the wall. Rebounded by Chris Kreider. Kreider now finding over to Zellweger. He'll find it to Carlson. Carlson, he shoots one. Big save by Connor Ingram. 16:33 to go in the first period, as this one stops it up with under 17 minutes in the first period. A lot of things to say about this since 2017 between one of the best teams, and as for Silverberg, from the Anaheim Ducks. And for the best of the favor, Connor McDavid, he's been all year round and we're playing for most of his postseason advantage. This carries on to be one of the best. And top of the player only happens to be given a greatness standpoint to give that one a knockoff win. No better change in that. That really only has to do is to play it so much better than other players of the Legendary. Yeah, of course the Legendaries really have to be only one change of it. I gotta say that the Anaheim Ducks has been really so much knocking at it to make some defensive, offensive skills. Now watch what happened with Darnell Nurse. He makes that one with a hit on Terry. That definitely blankers it, and that could definitely hurt. Darnell Nurse has a big relentless hit and a warrior position of his own, and he's trying to look for his first goal in this game. Well, I don't know if he can definitely get a first goal in the game. It's kind of like how hard it's going to pick up. But I'm really going to say this, is that most teams never really had an offensive opportunity, and it only happens to be once that Troy Terry was really trying to work his way across. He really has a lot of a hard time to get the participants to have him shooting it in. We've got to see how this is going to change off. I've never seen anyone that's going to get a deflection, and hopefully this is the best way we've seen the Anaheim Ducks perform. Golfer outside fighting the Gutes. Gutes fires in on Kenyon, and the big save by Connor Ingram. This will get a pressure under 15 minutes in the first period, and they're ready for another puck shot. Still no score in the game between Anaheim or Edmonton. Dickinson and Washi are one of the drawings on the offense, and as Washi will win the draw. Here's McNichol fighting again to Gutes. Gutes will find Johnston. Johnston to reel and his glove saving. What a big stop made by Connor Ingram. Oh, Ingram is really giving a great quickness. That one breaking it up a chain, and that really makes it a good block shot. Broken stick happened to be with only the Edmonton Oilers, and now he will have a deep zone to Veal. Veal will have to pass to Washi. Washi in zone! He just couldn't get the shot in the net, and it goes up to the netting out of play. A lot of big contemplating. The Wild Wing really watching this crowd, wanting to look for the first goal. But as for the Anaheim Ducks, they still leave it 0 with the Edmonton Oilers. Here's Hyman after a big hit by the Anaheim Ducks. Good poke check by Lacombe. He'll have it over to Veal. Veal will start things off, roll it around the net. Washi with the rebound, and he'll get a pass over to Trouba. Trouba gives a look to Washi. Outside the zone is Sinek. Sinek the pass over to Trouba. He'll look over to Veal. Veal to find the pass to Trouba. He'll look to Sinek. Big change out here for Anaheim, and that one will have to keep the zone in for Washi. That one broken it up by Matthias Ekholm. He'll have to clear it out. And now Killorn will have a little line group change. Connor McDavid trying to watch on again. Big hit on a smackdown. And a big save. Good stop made by Connor Ingram. Evan Bouchard with the rebound now pointing to McDavid. That one is really going to get close enough. Connor Ingram is really giving us enough saves. That really is definitely going to be another threat to have it daggered out. Carlson, broken up by Ethan Hopkins. Zellweger will have it over across the wall. Behind the net is Carlson. He'll send it around the net. Sinek with a big change. Finds to Carlson. Carlson enters the zone in the Edmonton territory and scores! First goal is on the books. Leo Carlson, first goal in the playoffs. That really is going to make that one daggered in, and that is a great shot of it, and that really gives that one a sneak attack and right in the net. Just look what you see about Leo Carlson. That is right in, turn away. Now, here's that slack. That one is a quick on a dagger, and that one just baits it over right toward the goaltender, and watch the snap. That one risks it, and it deflects it over, and it doesn't really get enough effort, and you've seen how that happens with that. Leo Carlson, he got a little bit of a dipper here, and that one is the first goal that got a good start. Leo Carlson was first goal in the playoffs. They got Anaheim on the board, 1-0 over Edmonton. Another win for Leon Draisaitl. We'll have that start off as Zellweger with the rebound. Zellweger pass around the net. You'll find again to McTavish. Mason McTavish looks to Carlson, looks to Alberta Poling. Poling to find it to Zellweger. Zellweger to find Leo Carlson. He'll looks over to McTavish, and he'll get the pass over to Golfer. Golfer to pass over to Carlson. He looks to Zellweger. Zellweger shoots one, and a save by Ingram. 10:32 to go in the first period. They'll have some time to get to another puck drop and control. All right, let's go over to the center box. It's Clover, and this one all talking about Chris Kreider.
Thanks, guys. About Chris Kreider, we really seen how well he has been playing it for most of his season of his career after facing with the New York Rangers. This is pretty much a lot of constipating that they're really doing it for. I really have to say about this, Chris Kreider has been one of the fascinating players in the history of the change. We really are sure enough that this is a lot of big work of the effort. No matter what the offensive does, that's a lot of big changing on their pursuit. Only one thing happens to be is the tape-to-tape zones, and also the rebound is playing with a nice, great plays. I'm looking forward to see what Chris Kreider has, and let's see what they have it all.
Big penalty coming up here on the Edmonton Oilers. That's going to be on Buck
Number 92, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Yeah, I saw that one coming afterward. Well, hopefully I'm safe anyway. I was looking at it right away, I'm like, wow, I think there is that big hit here. But anyway, I'll have to keep an eye on it for Chris Kreider. There's the first chance in. Back to you, Trent.
All right, thanks, Sir Clover. And the first power play coming up will be on Edmonton. Startup has to be only one way. Pakolson, he makes a cross-checking, and that is a dangerous play of it, and they really got him back on the down. That one is not the start off what you really want to be, but you cannot start that off if you want to get a cross-checking for the Edmonton. That really is going to make that one hurt.
That's Edmonton penalty. Vasily Pakolson, number 92.
Chris Kreider outside now finding the Carlson.
Diamond penalty.
Looks over to Carlson the other way. Leo finding over again with Carlson. Again to Kreider. Golfer. Take a little bit of a swing here. Make a little bit of a change off. Looks off to Carlson. Good spell check here. Finding the Golfer outside now. Finding Carlson. Carlson looks to Kreider. Looks to Terry. Right through the middle. Stopped by Ingram. 8:26 remaining in the first period. 1:12 in the Ducks power play. Let's go the other way. This time it's Connor McDavid as he's got his wheels in pursuit.
Well, the wheels happen to be only one thing, and you know, Connor McDavid is really like the better change. No better effort happened to be doing for them. This captain really has done so much of his postseason and all the hard work. What we really are sure of now is Connor McDavid is allowed the neutral infraction zones. We really are sure enough that this is definitely what they're all expecting to do for it. When Carlson really has to watch on McDavid, that's a harder one to get through. The captain is definitely on the all-out and a heartbreaker. And best veteran for the captain of the Canadian player. He's overrated for this one, you guys, but I'm pretty sure that he's will have to do some next courtesy to keep things going. Let's see how he has it there, guys.
Grambling to find Terry. Terry's shot deflected it, and it goes right back in the corner of the wall. They got their full pressures on. Kilgore finding the Grambling. Grambling shoots it deeper. Terry up. And it one taken away by Edmonton. Makes a big McTavish. Time's running out. Stop by Ingram. And that's going to end the power play as now Pakolson is out of the box. That's their first chance on the power play for Anaheim. That start off is really going to make that one go bigger. And I really have to say this is definitely what I gotta show. Anaheim, that's what they're supporting. That's really what they're getting. He scores! Anaheim with the second goal of the game. And the first playoff is Sinek. Sinecki's really giving us some fire range of improvement. I gotta say, that was a wicked. You know, there's one way I have to see about Stanley and the pass over to Sinek. Watch this play goes in. That's when he gets a dish off and right in toward the net. That is where Sinek is going to get right into this, and then that flings it on the puck and right in toward the net. That is his first goal in the playoffs. Got a little bit of a start of a tracker here, and then there is one open corner lane for the other way, and then that goaltender wasn't seeing that. 2-0 to score for Anaheim. They're starting up to get a lot of patience here on this offense. Yeah, I never seen how this is going to get for Anaheim. That is a big offensive drive. No strategy, 2 for 1. Big pass saved by Lucas Stolstall with 6:30 to go in the first period. Here's Anaheim back in the offensive zone as Zellweger will have to fire that one deep around the net. Deuce Washington now has it off. That one broken it up by Leon Draisaitl. Now as the Oilers will gain new groups. Edmonton playing the fire! Oh man! What a save made by Dostal after a blocking shot by Carlson. That really was close enough. I could not stand this. That was a
One heck of a drawing face-off. You cannot let it get away with that.
Anaheim
Nice
Ducks
defensive
score!
effort. And they clear that zone for Anaheim Ducks as this will roll around net.
45. Beckett.
Darnell Nurse will find over to Leon Draisaitl. And now
That's his
has
first goal in
he'll
Nicklas's
step
first
out of the
goal
box.
the game.
And a new replacement
Assisted
will
by
be on the
number
Anaheim
64.
Ducks. This will stop over Gusto under 5 minutes in the first period. Look what happened to Lucas Dostal. This one was the first block, and then watch what this gets in there. That was a diving play afterward, and that puck was really going to escape. This pad saved by the toe, gotten with a good clean. That's mighty to take on the power from this effort. Check what happened with this one here. That pad has gotten reached out. Dostal was almost unlucky to keep that one in, and that could be a 2-1 game. Midyakov looking for a suspended pass here. And also, he has some silly edges here. The win by Carlson. Here's Gudas on defensive zone. Poked it up. No offside for Edmonton as Frederick in the wing. Finds over to Dodge. Dodge should save by Dostal. Midyakov has it over to Killorn. Killorn will clear it out. Here comes the fast break Chambers. A net shot saved by Ingram on the corner blank shot for the Anaheim Ducks. Edmonton back in offense. That pass stop made by Lucas Dostal. Frederick, open a look. Sinek will clear it out. Anaheim Duck with a new change-off with only 3:40 to go in the first period. Here's Connor McDavid on the fast wheels. Goes around the net and rebound by Draisaitl. Draisaitl and will cover in by Dostal with only 3:22 remaining in the first period. Some plenty of play actions, 8-3 face-off wins for Edmonton. They're starting to look for a next goal in and give that one a good look. McDavid wins. That blocks a shot. Off the wall and rebounded by Trouba. The Ducks back in offensive zone as McTavish trying to digger it in. McTavish goes back outside Lacombe again to Poland. Pass off to Golfer. Golfer looking for Trouba on the shot. That one is off the glove, and it's rebounded by the Anaheim Ducks. Good movement on the offensive zone. They keep the puck rolling again. Back to Trouba. They move around again. McTavish, Trouba, Goffer. That blocked a shot, and that one is on Mateus Ekholm. He'll clear it out over to Savoy. Oilers beginning new line group change. Blocked a shot by Jacob Trouba. And here's a set to Mason McTavish. Oh, he just almost could have got that one, whipping it in. But that one caught him. Oh, he could get better with that. Ingram will stop in with only 1:31 remaining in the first period. Yeah, another puck drop, right? Don't forget, folks, we got our first intermission coming up as we've got some bigness on the action of the tracker between Roy and Terry. That will be the big start off for the first intermission for Anaheim. We've got 2-1 lead, 2-0 lead. Well, let's hope there is an answer to that. First intermission is next after the first period. Right to her in the middle. He could have tried to flick it that one in there for Chris Kreider, but that one is caught by the stick from Evan Bouchard. Now, as I said, ready for another puck drop. 2-0 Anaheim with 1:08 to go. Miguel Granlund wins the draw. Trouba now finds it over to Terry. Just 1 minute remaining in the first period as it goes back over to Nugent Hopkins. Here's Granlund. A send off to Terry, and he'll have it out. Now back to Trouba. Trouba looks over to Zellweger. Zellweger shoots one, and the block shot made by Evan Bouchard. Hey, Greg on the tag. That's on Evan Bouchard. Back to Nugent Hopkins. And here come the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins. Stick on the poke check by Jacob Trouba, and Granlund over again on the big red. This one knocks down. No offside for Anaheim. 3 seconds left, and Terry will not have a chance here for taking a shot. That will end the first period, 2-0. Anaheim, big score on the drop, but great saves happens to Lucas Dostal. I want to see what they can definitely do for Dostal. Keep it going. First period has come to the end. It's 2-0 Anaheim. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll get ready for the second period when we return in Anaheim, California. You're watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs on EA Sports. Hey folks, welcome to the first intermission of the NHL and EA Sports of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Edmonton 0, Anaheim 2. They got to start off with the first goals in the game right in between of Owen Decker at the point. That one really started off to begin with for a strong effort to keep things on. Let's go over to you there, Terry, about the Anaheim and Edmonton for the first statistics of the total game.
Well, start off really made it all clear out, and 90/84, they definitely did really well. They got a lot of protection to keep the puck moving in and across. And Chris Kreider, we noticing about it before, he's got a good tape-to-tape zone, but the big man offensive zone has no strategy to have that one keeping it in. This is because the Anaheim Ducks has been really trying to do a lot of its most attention before 2027. That's really what they are expecting it to do to get back in the postseason and play it all year round. Anaheim Ducks wasn't really always the favorite of it to keep things from messing things up over and under. We know Anaheim is really one of the better teams over the Los Angeles Kings, and I wasn't pretty sure that it's going to be a lot of huge knockdowns to the point because we know that's definitely what Anaheim is really all about. 541 over 102 time on attack. Man, you got a good start off here of only 90/84. And the power play started, it didn't really help that well. They have gotten it picked up, and as Connor Ingram, that's big saves.
Let's go over to the action tracker here as we've only got some couple shots on goal and a little bit of a big hits between the Edmonton and the Anaheim. Only one goal made for Beckett Sinek. That's his first of the playoffs. It really doesn't start afterwards. Let's see how this would change in for the Edmonton Oilers if they could try to look for some hit and try to look for some goals for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go over to you there, Terry, about the Anaheim Ducks as they're really starting off big.
Well, quack quack to you. Well, Anaheim Ducks really happened to go with one change-off to go right in from the start of it. Anaheim Ducks really have gotten some great defensive offensive strategy, and what they meant to say about it before really took it all in everything. It's really just everyone's playing it well, no problems here. They could definitely get on to a nice start of its routine. That's big off strategy for the offensive zones for the Anaheim Ducks. Chris Kreider and Sinek, that's pretty much a lot of confident goals that they're looking for. Now let's go over to you, Roy Cruz, about the Edmonton Oilers.
Oilers really did seem like it was going to be a pick-off of that, and Connor Ingram was a wildest pickiest save, and he really had turned for after Pickard had finished with the Edmonton Oilers, and therefore it wasn't really what they were expecting to see things, as you know, that's the replacement for the goaltender to see things from Darnell Nurse. You know, it's pretty opposite zone. There's no try to do for better chain to do for anybody. But hopefully, Edmonton Oilers may have to find a way out to get that one with the first goal to get it back in.
Now, what's your take here for the statistics for after the second period?
Well, I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1 game, and I'm hoping that Anaheim Ducks may have another goal to take things in. Hoping a power play goal, or maybe just a regular goal. And you, Terry?
Well, I bet it's going to be 2-2 tie game. I'm going to say Anaheim and Edmonton to get a close range and contact. So I think there might be some answers in there that we're going to be looking for.
All right, well, we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Let's go back to Anaheim as we've got the third commentary, Gangsta Beast, joining us here for the second period and see things on ice.
And we'll see what changes in as we get the second period started, and we'll see you all folks later for the second intermission.
Now back in the action. Welcome back to Los Angeles of Anaheim as we're ready to get started for the second period of the playoffs. Both players are hydrated and we are back on ice. Let's get the game started as Mighty Ducks continue on the playoffs. Alright, Starfruit, let's have your facts about the recap for the first period. Mighty Ducks started off with a great first goal. We've seen two of each guys, and I gotta say that these are one of the best of it. And as Nick, that is the first part of his own goal in the playoffs. He really starting to get that one a lot of biggest, controversial, and he's doing a lot of his best stands. I have to say about this, that Sinek got us his first goal in the playoffs, and he really did so well. That's a great start of it. I've really seen things before. And not to mention about Lucas Dossal, that is a great way to have him keep it up. And we know that everybody's been really watching this, and so far, however, this is what Anaheim Ducks really done for it. Delay penalty coming up on the Edmonton Oilers. We have his Trouba and Sinecki. will try to get to McTavish, and we'll stop the play here with under 19 minutes and a minute in the second period. Connor McDavid, he's definitely gotten hit, and that one makes one staggered out, and that one goes right off of Kaloid. You know, that's not the great defense that you really got to go with.
It's time now for the Mighty Ducks Power Play, presented by American Insurance.
Connor McDavid in the box. This will get another chance on the power play effort for the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim Ducks going to start doing something big here without Connor McDavid. There'll be next goal to take things on.
Edmonton penalty number 97.
Here's Colson to find the best of Golfer. Wait for it outside Terry, and a big pass by Ingram. Wilson trying to work things around. Carlson,
Edmonton penalty number 97 for a 2-minute
Carlson, he looks over to get another Carlson. Carlson has blocking the shot. They will have to try to regroup here. Golfer now finds over to Carlson. Carlson looks over to Golfer. Golfer finds the Carlson. Carlson gets right over again to Greider. Keeps moving the puck over and under. Puck will escape the zone, and that one is deflected, and it will stay out of the zone in the Anaheim territory. Dostal will hold things here with only 17:20 remaining in the second period. Joining with us is my third broadcast partner. Give a warm welcome is Gangsta Beast. How do you doing afterward, and how's the game watching you? Oh, it's been pretty prepared that much. I love seeing things. This is a great way to show it up what Anaheim, California used to be. We got to say about the Mighty Ducks afterward. You know, that's definitely where we have never seen them coming back into the postseason since 2017. And now, I mentioned it before, all the way to the Western Conference Finals is one of the best things. I love Anaheim. This is one of the best things I really got to say. You have to love it, and you cannot hate it. What I need to know about this is Anaheim Ducks has been really well and appreciative of the battle, and it's better been the hardest comeback of their life. And hey, I won't have to tell you on that. There could definitely be anybody who can play for. And what's your hopes on this one here? My hopes is going to be the Ducks to tie the tide series and then go back to Edmonton for Game 3. What do you guys think? Oh yeah, exactly. I love that. I think we can go out celebrating, partying all night. If the Ducks win. Let's see how they can definitely hold things on. Big save by Ingram. And therefore the Ducks will keep things going as the power play expires. Connor McDavid is out of the box. We noticing how that one is going to keep on hard on their effort. Not anybody's perfect. Yeah, not anybody's going to be perfect afterward. You know, I better say that Connor McDavid, he really just gotten attacking at this extension of the zone is not going to start doing it big. I don't feel like nobody's going to get there. He is all alone. Draisaitl. Great save by Lucas Dostal. On the breakaway, stops it again by Dostal. And he scores. Out of the box is Connor McDavid. That one will give a 1-0 at the start, but it's a 2-1 game. Well, there, you see what happens with the great save having to be Dostal, and then gets a big save by Ingram. And watch where puck is bouncing on the back. And then, as you see what happened with Connor McDavid, that one is whipped it and the miss of a chain. And then, watch this cut motion. He got a good tie of squeeze in his corner. That goaltender was going to be hard to reach for it. But as Connor McDavid, he ticketed it in just right. I wouldn't say about this about Connor McDavid. He really had shown it out. Yeah, I mean, not to me either there, Gangsta. I can definitely say that this is Connor McDavid on the tricky shot. He wouldn't have the place to get for it along the way. He'll have to watch out with trouble if anybody can get up to it. Lisa the outside to Bouchard. Bouchard blocked the shot and stopped by Dostal. Washington now has to begin to celebrate. No penalty on Edmonton Oilers. They are 0 for 2 for the Anaheim Ducks on a power play. Now here's Jacob Trouba. And Frederick. Give away for Anaheim. Anaheim Ducks got it back. Rio keeps the bank shot around the back. Looks to Echo. Along the way to the outside of it, it takes Echo trying to look for the drive. In front of Ocean, back to Washington. Washington pass that line to Jacob Trouba, and look over again to Golfer.
In the second period,
that one just swinging the nets. Big save by Dostal, and will hold things here with only 13:08 remaining in the second period. Previous, this is definitely what I have to say about Lucas Dostal as one of the craziest saves. This diving into this motion is going to keep that one from happening. Over the best score of the goaltenders, this is a threat, 40%, and he will not take it away with that. one of the best goaltenders, as we talked about it before. It is one of the widely regarded to the greatest Anaheim Ducks of all time. Finishy Flash. His name is Temu Salani. He's one of the best goaltenders, and finishing off for the Wild of this performance from the 1993 and 1994 season. And we really seen it out of the best goaltenders maybe. But is there a next question to be the best goaltender or the players? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've got to say this is the one big change up, and I've got to say the next greatest player of all time, I think it's going to have to be silent until 2032, honestly. I think one of the best players maybe we have to look for is across, That's the name of it, Chris Kreider. I probably don't know if anything is going to change out. We really got to see what's going to get endings first. Yeah, I agree. I think 2032 we'll see the best players going up here for the greatest players of all time. And I don't know who's going to definitely be in it. So there's a lot of questions from the fans saying who's got the best player for the NHL status for the history. That is going to be a hard question. Rebound by Anaheim. Here's Goffer fighting to Mitkov. Mitkov shoots one. Saved up by Ingram. Bowling trying to get a rebound, and now Bouchard smacked him from the wall by two defender Ducks mighty attack. How about that? You really see things going up across the way. Those Red Wing, the Wild Wing defenders are really going to smack it, and that's what the Ducks are going to be. They took a mighty. It's bashing time. Here's Grudas now finding Mitkov. He looks to Granlund. Granlund shots blocked and rebounded up by Terry. Jack Rosovich, the other way for Edmonton. Past the midway mark in the second period. Savoy. Behind the back is Savoy. Edmonton trying to look for numbers in the room. Savoy. Back outside Bouchard. Bouchard. Great block on the shot. And that one gets away on the slapper on the stop made by Dostal. Gudos toward the corner. He's got to look for help. Looks to Lacombe. Lacombe finding the Killorn. Killorn looks to Sinek. Sinek. In motion in front! Rebound in! And taken away off the side of the net with a big save by Connor Ingram. Ingram's really doing it all hard of it. I don't really think that would be a choice to do for if they could try to keep on messing it up or definitely get away from the defenders. What a big save by Connor Ingram. You don't think that was going to happen? Well, that really made that one with a lot of a huge carnage save. Watch what this happens with Connor Ingram. That makes a big save of it, and that one goes right for the blocker. I know that's really what they are expecting to say. Connor Ingram, you cannot let him get away with that. The win by Draisaitl. Wallman shot blocked up by Sinek. Oh, and they get the puck outside for the blue line. And Kapanen is back to Lacombe. Lacombe again to Killorn. The Ducks push their way into their offensive zone. Here's another pass. Sinek in his zone! Kicked out, save made again by Connor Ingram. Bob Coulson the other way of under 8 minutes. The pass is broken by Carlson. He goes over to Sinek. Sinek in range. That gives it away. Here's Emberson to pass deep zone to Pakulzin. Pakulzin in. Waiting in front of its target. Rebound by Lacombe. Now the Anaheim Ducks will clear it out. And here's Draisaitl. Draisaitl, one of the hardest one. And this is going to be a slooking call. And we notice that Jacob Trouba is going to the box for penalty. Yeah, what could happen with this one? And then you see where the hooking is going to get? That one is sticked it up with the lift. And that stick is not going to start off for Jacob Trouba. That hooks him up, and that is going to defend it. That's really bad manners. You cannot play it like that. Unless what happens with Leon Draisaitl, that's going to definitely call a referee to their hands to make that one shot out. That's definitely no chance you're going to get there. Power play starts for Edmonton Oilers as the penalty kills on Anaheim. Well, you got to watch out with that. You cannot let it make a mistake at this point. And if you definitely are going to try to get the defenders, try to keep attacking. Otherwise, the Oilers are going to get that one goal and tie it up.
For the Edmonton power play, 13 minutes.
Jake Wallman, the pass over to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Edmonton back into offense in the Anaheim territory. An easy save made goes by Dostal. Puck winds all the way back into Edmonton territory. And here's Ekholm. Deep pass zone to Draisaitl. Draisaitl. Given away by Mitkov. Kreider And broken by Hyman. That's another save by Dostal. And Veal will have that one swing it out. And a rebound by Edmonton. Jake Woolman behind the net. Broken by Washi. Washi a chance. That one is a smackdown and it goes right back over to Edmonton. Oh, you could definitely have another great short-handed goal. That would be impressive. Another save by Dostal. That's really what they are expecting to do this. That really is a big knockdown. Never mess on the mighty defender. Broken by Granlund. Granlund has got a chance. Save by Ingram. Granlund takes a right down by Woolman. All the way out in the zone is Kapanen. 20 seconds for the Oilers power play. Gudas around the back. Washi in the Edmonton territory. New line group change for Edmonton. And Trouba is going out of the penalty box as the power play expires for Edmonton. They start up with a 1-0 lead, 1-0 in the power play on their game. Well, that starts doesn't really mean to be there. I mean, that only gets Mighty Ducks to have some short-handed goals in the chance. And they could definitely keep it all things going along. I mean, I definitely wanted to see how the short-handed chances for Anaheim Ducks. They really are going to start getting the franchise up. And fans, we got to see this reaction. You got to see this big moment from the crowd. Check out what happened with this one here. It is Gudas who makes that one wiping it up. And that is a tremendous knockdown. This opponent is definitely really going to give all he can. Greco Gudas, I really am watching you, man. A lot of time up in the period, with under 5 minutes in the second period. Carlson trying to look for the winning faceoff. And he's got it. Carlson again to the net. Another hit by Buckholzen. That's a big knockdown for the Edmonton. Buckholzen on the rush to Draisaitl. Good save by Dostal. What a wild save on the foot. Anaheim Ducks will try to clear that out. This big attacker doesn't really mean how Buckholzen did, but that is a big knockdown that they did. Yeah, I know how Vasily Buckholzen is doing this, but that really gets it a hit. No strategy, no strength in numbers. You would not believe it how that would change off. So next signs it over to Killorn. Killorn shoots it deep, and the blocker saved again by Connor Ingram. Back to Dutch. Now they're on the attack. In the Anaheim territory is Dutch. And it's also will cover things in with only 3:02 remaining in the second period. Since we know the franchise happens to be with this, because the name of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, that was in 1983, and it was the Walt Disney Company that definitely did. And for those who are big fans of the Mighty Ducks, you may have seen this on TV, and definitely film on location at the Honda Center. This is definitely where it starts things off from the Mighty Ducks 2, or the M2 for short. And you may have noticing those players of the Rag Boys wanting to show how the hockey is down. You have to believe this. For the better playing effort would do a lot of its awarded NHLs. They were never been founded afterwards since many years before their 100th annual. And as we noticed it before, Anaheim Ducks are one of the bestest in Anaheim of California. Where we require for the Los Angeles Kings to have some big showdown attackers in the California section. And before the next play this comes in for the San Jose Sharks, that is where we are seeing things. I love this. And the Mighty Ducks is really only one way I haven't seen it. It's many years ago, we've got to think out how the Mighty Ducks will play responsibly. Will this be a Daganero? I bet there is. Dostal stops the puck with only 1:18 remaining in the second period, and they're ready for another puck drop. Well, you see what Darnell Nurse really made it. That is a big hit. That really makes that one smacking it out. And that's big inversion. And I wouldn't believe so if it's going to take so many attempts to have to shoot lenses. That's a big hit by Darnell Nurse. You have to see that to get a knockdown of it. So what's your standpoint of this one against them? Will the Anaheim Ducks win for the third period and head to California to Edmonton for game number 3? I believe so. I'm going to say that Edmonton Oilers are going to be tied up with Anaheim Ducks and go into game 3. This should be a great fun one here, and I bet you have to love it. You've got the second intermission coming up here with you shortly. Once the second period is over, we'll send you back down to Terry and Roy in the studio. And we'll see you back here for the third period once they're ready to go. Lucha backhander saved up again by Dostal. That one knocks him run the wheels. Miklikov finds it over again to Gudos. 15 seconds remaining, and now Chris Kreider will have the attack. In-range motion. He fires it, glove save by Ingram. 5.4 seconds remaining in the second period. And he'll see what's going to happen with that on the next strong face-off. I hope you definitely enjoyed this one here, gang sub. And hopefully, we'll see how the Ducks will do if they win it at all. Yes, sir. Let's go, Mighty Ducks. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it with you. And hopefully, we'll see what the third period happens.
You've been a favorite of it. Thank you. And let's make it happen.
Hope we will do. Thank you so much to Gangsta Beats for joining us for the second period, but therefore we gotta wrap it up for the second period, and we'll be back with you for the third period as the second intermission is up next. Be back with you soon for the third period of Anaheim. Hey folks, welcome to the second intermission of the NHL on EA Sports. It's 2-1, Anaheim over Edmonton, and they're starting to go with the close battle range on this attack. Only one goal for Connor McDavid as he's just scored it out of the penalty box, and he just got a go-ahead goal to take it over and under. There's one way we need to say about this. The Anaheim Ducks are really starting to make knockdowns on a hit, and the shots on a goal had turned to be like it's close and tremendous to keep things out of the way. But the Edmonton Oilers, this link is going to definitely put a hunter on the Ducks for the Wild win. It may not be what they were looking at, but this is definitely a suspended game to keep that one smacking. Let's go over to Terry Crews about the total statistics after the second period.
Well, this is a big change afterward, and definitely what Edmonton Oilers did. They had 26 over 19. I mean, they're not really getting much better with this, but this patient is going to definitely turn over like they are doing it for. 87 over 86 percentage on the passive effectiveness. This is definitely what the cause of the problem may concern of for Anaheim, and the Edmonton Oilers are just trying to come back. I mean, nobody is giving a look after it. Only 0 for 1, and that's definitely what Edmonton is really trying to get the power play goals in. And without Anaheim Ducks getting a power play, this one may have changed over, and nobody really wanted to do that. That may have to be like it's sent away, or is it going to be replaced and try to fix things up? This is definitely a hard question it's going to concern of.
And let's go over the total statistics. Only one goal happens to be with Connor McDavid, and this kid doesn't really mean to do anything. This big penalty kill was already on Connor McDavid, but the other side happened to be with Jacob Trouba, and that one doesn't start doing a great option. This big lead is not going to be the change-off to anybody's look on their opposite sides to have Anaheim Ducks coming in with the full attack. This is definitely what the cause of it may concern you, Terry, but we may not know how that one is going to push things out from the limits, and the boundary might just go over and under. How do you feel about that?
Well, I just don't really think that Anaheim Ducks could try to keep things, smacking things out. Those mighty Ducks are sure need to be on a great potential speed. They've got to keep moving. Otherwise, the Edmonton Oilers are going to even things up.
Let's have you talk about here for the Edmonton Oilers, since now Connor McDavid has gotten one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really what Edmonton Oilers would really start doing a favorite. When I mentioned before about how the Edmonton Oilers are really starting to get that one, cross-put checks, there's big hits, there's pretty not anybody who could definitely change it over again and try to keep that shock from scoring under range. You know, it's not really what we just trying to expect that this one is a big takedown on defense. But hey, literally, we know that Connor McDavid is really trying to have that first goal in a shot opportunity. To have that one with the rebound and a big wild save by Dostal really turned out to be okay. We're pretty not sure how that one is going to keep lifting it out for the Oilers or the Ducks. They really are starting to do much of their chances afterwards. Hopefully, we'll see how they can change it up again. Let's have it over to you, Roy, about Anaheim.
The Ducks side is starting up to be a clearly ranged in. I mean, this is because what happens with only that. I mean, the Anaheim Ducks really have gotten to have a lot of hits in this one. The Wild Wings are pretty much getting a lot of stop motion of it down, and Anaheim Ducks is really one of the best teams. Actually, we haven't seen them in a long time. So in the postseason, that's big blankage in the courtesy. I bet this is a great way to start things off. If the Anaheim Ducks could win this game and hopefully tie things up and then go back to Edmonton for the third and final game. What do you think how that will change? Maybe the question may answer is, yes, I think the Anaheim can win, or no, because they're trying to do all their hard and Edmonton Oilers clinch it, they're going to the next round. So let's see how they can definitely answer it out. And my take on this goal is going to be a 4-1 over the Edmonton Oilers because they're really starting to get a nifty and a check-in to keep things from out of the way. I'm going to say it's going to be 4-2 for Anaheim Ducks. That's my prediction that I would like to see what happens. All right, let's go back down to Anaheim Ducks. And looks like it's going to be all for nothing if the Oilers can win it or the Anaheim Ducks to tie the series. Let's send you back down to Anaheim, California as we end the second intermission.
See you folks later after the game for the post-game show.
Welcome back, folks. We're ready to get started for the third period of the playoffs of the NHL hockey. As we're finishing it up for the final period in the second game, let's see what they take in the range between the Canadian and American team. All right, Starfruit, I know what you're watching this, but let's have your takes of how this happened with a second period recap from your own. Well, always say Lucas Dostal. He's really been so much how confident he is. He's playing in so much of his big career. The intendable is greatness. I've seen so much of the biggest offensive zones. And one thing we noticed is the Edmonton Oilers are really starting to stagger him out. Not the best way that they could do for. But all I say is that Dostal, he's the best. He's doing so well. Effectively, I wanted to see how we can definitely take more saves of it right over than anybody in the playoffs of the history. Here's Carlson, he wins the draw, and now Jacob Trouba. Giveaway now, sends it over to Killor. Here's Killor. Swings up across. The backhander goes off the face mask by Connor Ingram, and the rebound will be picked up here. Killorn's got it back, now finding it again on the comb. Here's another chance to Killorn. Killorn shoots it deep, another save by Connor Ingram. McDavid sends over to Hyman, and he now has it over to Savoy. Poked it by Lacombe, and a save by Dostal. Close contact here in the third period. Dostal hangs on another save. And they're ready for another puck drop. 87 over 85. They're starting to drop down a little bit, but they got to be very careful of getting the passes. Yes, passing is not the great way that you really want to turn it over to intercept it. But the passing is definitely not the easy option. You have to stay up and out. You cannot let anyone get the puck from you. And they could definitely cause the turnovers like he did for real. Killorn struggled to get up, and here's Pakolzin. Draisaitl in, a save again by Dostal. Over to Kreider. Kreider sends it over, and the pass again to Lacombe. Lacombe in the wing. Gets to Terry. Back over to Kreider outside of it, and takes a big knockdown with the hit. Unbelievable by the Edmonton Oilers. They cannot slow things down. Well, they absolutely are. I mean, the Oilers have been really starting to have a lot of furious smackdown. That's definitely one of the under teams to try to have that one smacking down. There can be no sign of trouble. Ingram will hold it over with under 17 minutes in the third period. Still, Anaheim 2-1. Now, here's one of the best histories as we talking about it before. It's one of the biggest players of the game. As this moment only happens to be with Teemu Salami, the best player to goal, and he really makes it all, the finishing, to do this process. He leading his way team all the way around here since he played for the Winnipeg Jets after the draft, and then his contract had called him for Anaheim Ducks to play for real. Now he definitely wants to come in and then start helping them out before the San Jose Sharks, and then the Avalanche, and then he came home again in Anaheim, California. And their team has won the Stanley Cup, beating the Ottawa Senators in 2007. It was no better to be here, like every Canadian teams who try to take on the Ducks, but the Ducks stay proud as Salami wins the Cup. It's one of the best histories at this moment. I've got to say, Salami is really one of the best players of this legendary of this offense. You know, I've got to say, Salami's been so well there. Accurate motion, he really has it done. The finished players of this NHL history happens to be a great way to see how his fans want to appreciate to welcome back with the Winnipeg Jets. And then, right with the Ducks, that's really what they all have been asking for. Washy, best player ever. He's doing it so well of it, and I've got to say, Washy is wanting to see how he gets it over to Teemu Salami with a great goal. That's definitely what everybody's really got to say for Anaheim Ducks. It's proud to be anybody. They're part of the goals afterwards, and I got to say, you know, that Salami's really like always the best player. In the Anaheim Ducks history for him, he played 2 times with the Anaheim Ducks, and he chooses to come back here with the team in Anaheim. And I better say this one here before Silverberg made his way in. And one thing what we really understand it is now is Stanley Cup terrific performance on his playoffs. You know, that's definitely what we are all expecting to see him for Salami, the best player to goal in the chain. Yeah, I love seeing the goals in the chain. He's all into plenty. I love this energy. There's plenty of greatness to take anyone that's right out of this history of his own. Before Connor McDavid, I know it's not really the easy way to do this, mate. Now, as you notice, you've got to give Salami a great effort. That's why he calls the flashing finisher. What a great change-up, and I'm going to say it's a big history of the moment. Jacob Trouba got it back. Here's an artwork to Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider. No pass open look here as Leon Draisaitl trying to take him over. Ducks will regain the loop. We'll send it in the zone. And it's back to Draisaitl for the Oilers. Poked it by Jacob Trouba. Last time he got a hooking, but this time he made a poke check. Granlund waiting for some new line group change. He gives it over to Sinek. Sinek with the rebounding in front. And Henrique with the rebound, it goes back over again to Murphy. Sends it deep, and icing will be on Edmonton. 11:01 to go in the third period. Still nothing to get the scores in before the midway mark. Now, here are the coming up games as we've got plenty of actions here. There are so many of it in night number 2. As you always know, the first game happening is Boston Bruins and the Buffalo Sabres of the showdown between the New York and the Boston territory of Atlantic Clash Division. That means Boston Bruins may win it all, or Buffalo Sabres will tie this game and go back to Buffalo for the third game. Then after that game, we've got another matchup here in Los Angeles for night number 2 at Crypto.com Arena. The Canes meet against the Avalanche. That's the next part of the game underway there shortly for another big standardized out from between the Central and Pacific matchup. Then after that game, tomorrow night will be the Lightning and the Canadiens here at the Century Bell in Montreal. And lastly, with the game later that night, after that, the Wilds and the Stars at Minnesota. Prepare for yourself for your next game, and it's going to take the all for everyone who wants to see what they can do. That's all games here on Son of Beast and a future home for your channel to improve of the SOBeast Gaming. Under 8:30 remaining forward, Gavin and shots made again by Dostal, and back over to Carlson. Well, that's what happens with Dostal makes. Everyone doesn't get through it, and then probably nobody wants to get there. McTavish trying to look for an empty cut motion here. Further again, not finding Matthias Ekholm for the Edmonton Oilers. Right around the net. Rebound by Lacombe. Lacombe back to McTavish, and now the Anaheim Ducks will have a new line group for Gauthier. Couple new guys are on ice. Bad pass for Anaheim. Further the other way for Edmonton. No blue line out of the zone as Kapanen regroups it. And another big save by Dostal on a shutdown. He looks over to Troy Terry. He'll give it again to Gauthier. Gauthier sent to Granlund. Tip in zone didn't matter as Engrum makes a save. Lots of energy to be given here. 87/85. That one is changed up, and that can definitely affect for the Oilers to keep on scoring. Granlund, the Gudas, another hit for Edmonton Oilers. And here's Jake Wallman. He'll fire it around net. Mityukov trying to get it back in. And Mityukov again. Pass back to Troy Terry. Troy Terry in motion. That pass broken up again. Gudas outside the zone. Another pass over to Mityukov. He looks to Terry. Terry sends back to Washi. Now again to Gudas. Gudas fires it, and a blocker saved up by Ingram. Rebounded by Washi. On a full pressure ahead. Gudas to Mityukov. He fires and slings it, and it's saved by the goaltender. He could not let it get away with that. Connor Ingram was another big stump on a save of it, and he could definitely just keep on carrying it out. No big answers. Jake Wallman. A fire shot made on the easy plank range for Lucas Tolstol. And here's another one to Terry. Another big hit goes into Anaheim territory, as now Terry will have to fling that one out around the net. Washi. And then one will give it over again for Emberson with 4 minutes left. And we're under 5 minutes presented by Discover. Troy Terry to look to Carlson. Carlson looks over to Washi. Washi. Change off the blank. Sticked up high by Ty Emberson on Villa. Now here's Carlson again, finding to Zellweger. Zellweger been over to send it pass to Carlson, and a big save by Ingram. 3:17 left remaining in the third period. Anaheim in control, pushing pursuit, looking for a next chance goal. Jack Rosovich, he goes right into her in the wall, and that really gives him a stem down. That really was going to put him a blanker, and that definitely, what Rosovich makes, that is free hits. That one's conservatively to keep that one knocking down. A lot of plenty of action here. Anaheim Ducks still up by 1, and Edmonton trail by 1. 2:28. The win for McDavid. Here's Evan Bouchard to find over to Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman. It gives us a save by Dostal. Dostal will freeze it up here with under 3 minutes in the third. And they'll give it another time to get another puck drop and going. Centers glided up as Carlson and Draisaitl are ready to have the puck drop. 50-50 chance goes to Carlson. Lacombe slings it deep to Sinek. Back in the Edmonton territory is Sinek. He looks up to Killorn. Draisaitl's got it back for Edmonton. The Oilers beginning their new chances on their own. And outside is Carlson. Back to Sinecki. Sinecki moves it in. To the scores! Lacombe. They put it back up, and it's now a 3-1 game. That was really what they were expecting to see this. As Lacombe was watching in there, there's that tip on a stick. And that one, right from the doorstep, that one goes right for Sinecki, and that is a big rebound. And watch what happened with that. Sinecki really had a question cutting in there, and as Lacombe, he just gets that rebounding it and goes back into the net. That's a great help for the mighty defender. Anaheim Ducks showing them support and love in Anaheim, California, as the Ducks are up by 2. 2 minutes remaining in the third period as Heineman will send over to McDavid. McDavid finds it over to Savoy and back to Carlson again. McTavish clears his own. And it'll be an icing on Anaheim. What a nice save here by Jackson Lacombe. I've got to say, that's a bigness at a take, and only the rebound happens to be the offensive zone. No pass percentage, that's Lacombe on the shot, and then what happens with the third period, I think happens to be Sinecki to have that one daggering in, and as Lacombe's watching it, this rebound is going to deflect back, and that is a big help for the third period. That's great offensive recovery. Let's go down over to center ice, and now sign over is Clover. Who had the best player of the night?
Well, I mean to say, this is a hard thing I'm going to have to do for him. But I'm saying that only one thing happens to be Carlson. That's one of the great center passes, and I really love seeing things from Carlson the other way. You know, that's definitely what we're all expecting him to do. It looks like we're going back to Edmonton, Canada for real. And definitely what we need to know for him. I guess now Carlson's going to be a big up and down. Finish things off. Let's see how he ends things up against the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, back to you.
Mighty Ducks trying to show wild here in Anaheim. With under a minute left remaining in the third period. And the winning draw goes to Pulling. Pulling. Knocked him down. Here comes Hyman. Saved by Dostal. Flying it over to McTavish. McTavish is going to get an empty net. Trying to look for the cut of it, but no help here. Gunther. Range in front, and that will end it all. Anaheim Ducks are going back to Edmonton, Canada. In Game 3, McTavish empty net goal in the playoffs. Well, that's what happens with Holy McTavish, and that is only the great goal to get that one connection. Well, that one was way out wide. He was going to get around, but that one just flipped with the wrist, and only just one goal doesn't have to be enough. Now they got it fixed. McTavish got it greatly appreciated from the fans. Garfield with the assist. Empty net does the deal. And a shot glowed up here by Dostal. Carlson will clear it. Sinecki will clear it out. And they're icing on Anaheim Ducks with 22 seconds in the third period.
That's his first goal in the playoffs, first goal in the game. Empty net goal.
Their only big nights here between the Anaheim and the Edmonton. Only one chance happens to be the winning to get that goal in. Here's a shot and a goal saved by Dostal.
First goal in the playoffs. First goal in the
Behind the
game.
back. And Jacob Trudeau will get some time to rest him down, and the Anaheim Ducks are going to seal the victory. Mighty win. They've done it all that they can. No game 1, but game 2 successful. Anaheim Ducks wins the game, and there are now tied. Well, we need to know about that. Lucas Dostal was a huge, one of his best goaltenders of the night, and that's why Mighty Ducks got it all figured out. Coming in much better, and most likely enough, we're going to see what Game 3 happens next. Thank you, Wild Wings, and what a big salute to the fans. And everybody stands up for a crowd. Anaheim loves a deal. You have to see what you can believe it, and you don't expect it to see them return anytime soon. Well, that could be without the fans. They couldn't appreciate more. Well, that's it for now, and along with my broadcasting partners with the third commentary, Gangsta Beast and Clover, and along with me and Starfruit, I'm Ultra Beast. Thanks for watching the Anaheim Ducks playoff of the hockey of the Stanley Cup. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Now, back in the studio is Terry and Roy. Good night. It's Honda Center. Alright, thanks there, Ultra. Time to settle down for 3-star players. Mason McTavish is only with 1 goal and 1 assist and only 3 hits. He took the empty net goal, and he had no problem here. And they go back to have that empty net shot. Second star player goes to Beckett Sinek for only a goal, 2 assists, and 2 hits. He only does this to make that one taking it over from Carlson. And then Sinek, he got that great shot of it on the angle and got a great goal. And tonight's first star player of the game, Lucas Dostal, 38 saves in a row against the Edmonton Oilers. And he's got a victory playoff game against the Edmonton Oilers. And here are the final total statistics. 49 over 38 total shots on goal for Edmonton over Anaheim. 48 over 32 for Edmonton hit. 15-30 time on attack over 338 for Anaheim Ducks. 87 over 84 for Edmonton Oilers. 25 over 16 face-off wins for Edmonton. 4-minute penalty kill on Edmonton, and Anaheim with only 2-minute penalty kill. And no power play goals was made for both teams, one for 2 minutes and the other for 4 minutes. So that's it for now. That's tonight's game of night number 1, and we'll see you folks later for the next part of the games to see what gets things in. And for the other side, for the next night, we'll see what happens if there's any changes to that. I'll be getting over to Boston, and they'll be taking on against the Sabres. And with my broadcasting partner, with me Phone 11, I'll see what they can definitely do if there's a great goals right in the range between the Boston or Buffalo. But therefore, that is going to wrap things up, and we'll see you all folks next time for as a while as the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on EA Sports Style. This is Roy Cruz and Terry Cruz signing out. Thanks for watching.
If you don't
on, somebody will.